Current takes the finals. Oh, it's absolute scenes here in the British Pokemon League. Oh my god! Wait! Bonga Bonga baby! Let's go! Fisher lands again! Fisher picks up the...
Hello everybody and welcome back to the British Pokemon League show. It is week 11. We are here. It is the end of the regular season. 11 whole weeks of action-packed competitive action here in our little Pokemon League that we've been running all of this year. It's all come down to this. Once this is done, we have a 2-3 week break until playoffs. And then, as Aaron just rightly said in chat, this is where the real fun begins. But before we get to any of that, we've got 6 matches to get through, 3 of which are going to decide playoffs for some people, and going to decide relegation for the others. It all comes down to this for 4 teams. There's 4 teams, only 2 spots available left for playoffs. Obviously, 4 don't go into 2, so 2 are going to lose out, 2 are going to make it through. Let's take a look at the league table going into this week, though. As you can see, of course, sat at the top of the British Pokemon League with that number 1 seed, it is Aaron's Inglorious Surfers. Crizzle CROYDON SAURS jumping into that 2nd spot after that win over Space City PC last week. Could return back to 2nd place, meme in the Space City PC with victory today if Crizzle does lose, but Crizzle will be trying to get that number 2 spot and make sure he gets a high enough seed for playoffs. The Wobbuffet Ninjas moved themselves up to 4th place after that victory over the nicest Sidonia last week. So again, we'll also be trying to finish as high as possible, although unfortunately it is not possible for them to finish any higher than 4th based on match record, but could finish at the very least 6th place. So not too big of a margins for sort of error, but still, could be the... could be the margin between, getting a good playoff draw and getting a quote-unquote bad one. Behind them, though, is the Long Island Goomies, obviously losing out, sadly, to that forfeit loss to Dave last week. We'll be trying to bounce back this week and go into playoffs on a high with a victory. Dave Newcastle Thunderous then, they qualify for playoffs because of that forfeit, but otherwise, Dave has been on a bit of a bad run of form, so he'll be trying to turn things around and, again, likely go into playoffs on a high with some confidence behind him. Below them, though, is where it gets very, very spicy. 2 of 4 teams of either TYRANTS-O, Swindon Rookidees, ShadowKings or Scuba Squirtles will fill those final 2 spots at the end of today. Who will it be? I was going to say you decide, but you don't decide anything. I'm the boss here, right? Nah, it's going to be crazy. At least 2 of these teams have been involved in the sort of relegation fight for a good chunk of the season. The Tyrants, they were 2nd place after week number 6. And now find themselves in 7th place, just about hanging on to that playoff spot, but a loss this week, and it could be all over them if the results do not go their way. Below them, though, it is the California Bastions and the Knights of Sidonias. They are going to be finishing bottom and 2nd bottom, unfortunately. As I said, our first 2 teams confirmed for the new British Pokemon League Championship, which we will have more information on in our playoff show. In a couple of weeks' time. I'll let you know the date of that once we get to the end of the show. But let's take a look at the schedule then. So kicking things off, we have got the ShadowKings taking on the Wobbuffet Ninjas. This one ought to be an absolute doozy. Dogsy needs the win here to sort of have any chance of making it through. It could be that he wins, and it doesn't matter if the Tyrants and the Swindon Rookidees win, then Dogsy's victory could be in vain. If he loses, then he is confirmed relegated and will not be making playoffs. So this is all or nothing, and of course the Ninjas are gonna, like the Goomies, like Newcastle Thunderous and all the other teams already qualified for playoffs, gonna want to end on a high. Can they end the ShadowKings' hopes and dreams? We will see. Then next up, it is a very difficult matchup. It is Tyrants versus Space City PC. What an absolute hell of a run-in the Tyrants have had in these final few games. You know, all of the top 4 or 5 teams in these last couple of fixtures, and it has just not went their way and find themselves staring down the barrel of relegation. But that's not to say he couldn't do it. You know, Silver on his day is a very, very strong player. Has pushed a lot of the good players in this league all the way, so this could be quite a close match, and Silver is going to have to go all out to try and ensure that he makes playoffs. Then next up, we have got the South CROYDON SAURS taking on the Swindon Rookidees. Of course, Crizzle going to be vying for that second place spot. Draco finds himself in those playoff spots now, but needs a victory to confirm his spot there. If he loses, then he is sort of, you know, he's relying on the ShadowKings losing out to ensure that 8th spot. So, you know, a lot of things need to go his way if he doesn't get the victory. Of course, Draco has not beat Crizzle yet in the British Pokemon League, so a lot riding on this one. Up next then is the Newcastle Thunderers taking on the Scuba Squirtles. So Thunderers, of course, already qualified, but the Scuba Squirtles need the victory here. But not only that, they need to win by 2-0 and hope that all those 4 teams ahead of them, the Rookidees, Tyrants, and ShadowKings, all lose for them to have any chance of making playoffs. So it could get their game and it could be absolutely already curtains for them. So it'll be very interesting to see how that one goes. And then rounding out the week, we have got the Inglorious Surfers taking on Long Island Goomies. And the Goomies are gonna want to finish as on a high and try and finish as high as possible. But they've got one hell of an opponent to do that against. Of course, Aaron's Inglorious Surfers, who's on a bit of a winning streak right now and looking very, very strong going into playoffs. And finally, the last match of the week. It is our bottom 2 teams. It is the Nicer Sidonia taking on the California Bastiodons. So, you know, I think that one, these 2 teams haven't really got a lot to play for, but hopefully they'll make it a fun match for us either way. But let's get right into our first game then. It is the Ninjas taking on ShadowKings then. So, as you can see there in the head-to-head, the ShadowKings have not managed to beat the Ninjas in a head-to-head in the British Pokemon League thus far. It is 3-0 for the Ninjas. Of course, the last time these 2 teams played was the British Pokemon League Season 1 playoffs in the losers final. So, Dogs are going to want to be getting a little bit of revenge for that. You know, Matt got in his way of making the grand finals in Season 1. Could we see Matt destroy the hopes and dreams again? It's going to be an exciting one for sure. It always is between these. Let's see, the Ninjas are on the 6-4 record, Dogs and ShadowKings on the 4-6, so kind of a reverse of each other's records. But yeah, another interesting thing to note is, of course, the Ninjas have Kangaskhan and the Dogs and ShadowKings have the Mega Kangaskhan. So be interesting to see if both of those come to the matchup. Of course, the Ninjas do have Serena, which might sort of dissuade Dogsy from bringing the Mega Kangaskhan. You know, Mega Kanga, known for its fake out abilities, you know, is going to be completely stopped by that Queenly Majesty ability. The same with any other priority moves. So it's potentially, this might be the first time we see Illumies stay home, or at least not play as big of a part as usual. You know, of course, could still come in and set up Tailwind and things, but you know, any kind of priority moves against the Ninjas, if that Serena's still kicking around, of course, aren't going to be well, they just aren't going to work, essentially. You know, it's very much a rain team, the Ninjas, so we could see him not try and go against trying to get the rain dance up. We have seen in recent weeks, of course, going for the Trick Room with that Oranguru, setting up the Sunny Day, just so that camera up to eruptions are doing the most damage, and of course Instruct as well on that Oranguru has been absolutely huge for the ShadowKings in recent weeks. It's got some really good kills with that, and of course Gastrodon paired next to that Camerupt as well. Means you've got to have those spread moves to take out the Camerupt, or it is curtains. Keep an eye on that Ditto as well. I think if Ditto comes and that Lunala is kicking around, then the Ninjas could be in a lot of trouble. That is probably the one mon that the Ninjas are going to not want Ditto to copy, to be honest. That or potentially the Raikou here. Raikou is very strong into a lot of his own mons. Of course, Ditto copies that. It could be difficult. Speaking of Raikou, though, something it could be really strong in this matchup. You know, has such a wide variety of moves in its arsenal, and is a very strong special attack, and of course is reasonably fast here as well. So it's going to be able to put in good work. You know, even gets the likes of Scald as a water move. Of course, need to be careful of that Gastrodon all the same. As we already mentioned, that Serena, I think, is going to be coming along here just to, you know, just in case the Mega Kangaskhan decides to make a trip down to the Ninjas. And I think Finny here could be a strong bring, you know, just to get that terrain up, just try and sway Dogsy from trying any any status moves, try and slow the ninjas down, or get any toxic poisons off. But without further ado, let's get into this one. It is the ShadowKings taking on the Wobbuffet ninjas then. And as you can see there, the ninjas have got the Finny, Kangaskhan, Serena, Politoed, the Electros, and Raikou. And Dogsy kicking things off with the Camerupt and Oranguru. Has got the Gastrodon, Ditto, Necrozma, and the Illumis in the back. So no Mega Kangaskhan for Dogsy and the ShadowKings. The ninjas kicking things off with the Tapu Fini and the Kangaskhan then. So of course that Oranguru is in a focus. So hopefully the ninjas have learned the lesson of not fake out in a focus modes. It is Misty Terrain Tapu Fini, so it gets the special defense boost as well, which is going to be really, really good against that Camerupt. The Camerupt does switch out as in comes the Gastrodon, maybe expecting the Surf, and there's the double edge from the Kangaskhan and the Nature's Madness from the Finny, so maybe a bit of a mistake there, Finny. I think ninjas were maybe hoping that Finny would be faster in that scenario, and Nature's Madness might do more. But all the same, gets some good damage off an Oranguru, but Oranguru does get the Trick Room going, and that's going to really benefit the Gastrodon sat next to now that you call slow. Then both the Finny and the Kangaskhan not really able to do too much in the way to Tapu Fini, but Kangaskhan with that sort of weakened special defense might be able to take care of that thing, and that's at least one big damage dealer gone. And Dogsy can maybe get his himself on the board in terms of kills. The air power comes out from the Gastrodon. There is the instruction. Gastrodon's going to get to go off again, and Kangaskhan goes down to the air power, and the Delphini is the nickname. The Tapu Fini gets the Calm Mind off, so it has 2 times special defense and now a buff special attack as well. And what are they just going to bring in? They're bringing the Raikou then, so Raikou onto the field. Of course, can't really touch that Gastrodon with any electric moves, but might be trying to make sure he takes out the Oranguru at the very least here. Just could stop those instructs. So the longer those go on, the more damage it's being done. Of course, both Gastrodon and Oranguru are going to be slower than the Raikou and the Tapu Fini. This team not really set up for Trick Room, as we saw a bit earlier in the season. The ninjas sort of favouring that Trick Room setup. Air power comes out, and there's the instructor is going to air power again into the Tapu, so trying to take out the Tapu Fini, and then the Moonblast is going to get rid of the Oranguru though, and there is the Aura Sphere from the Raikou into the Gastrodon, and not too much damage on their leftovers. Going to peel back some of that damage with Gastrodon now. In comes the Camerupt, then 2 turns of Trick Room to go. Plus Instruct is now gone, so Camerupt can get those double eruptions off, but just one I think is going to do some really big damage to the Raikou here. The Raikou switches out, so in comes the Tapu, the Politoed to help out that Tapu Fini. He sets up the rain. Air power comes out. There's the eruption. It's going to be completely weakened by that rain coming out, and there's the Surf from the Tapu Fini that's going to buff the Gastrodon, but that's going to get rid of the Camerupt. Does a little bit of damage with the Politoed there as well, and it is now a 3v2 Oranguru and Camerupt down, and it's all up to Necrozma and Gastrodon, but Gastrodon now has that buff special attack thanks to that Surf, so bit of a risky play there, sort of, you're getting rid of the Camerupt, but you've now made that Gastrodon phenomenally stronger. And that Necrozma is nothing to be shaken. Obviously, air power does take out the Politoed. There's a Photon Geyser. Tapu Fini just about hangs on. There's the Moonblast. And Necrozma gets a critical hit as well. Necrozma just about hanging on for that with 23% hit health. Gastrodon gets a little bit of HP back thanks to that leftovers, and the Trick Room now it does end, so this could swing back the other way now for the ninjas if they can keep the Tapu Fini alive. And Raikou now, we've seen it has Aura Sphere, so we know at least one move on that thing, and Necrozma with that Photon Geyser as well is going to do some really big damage. You would think that if both monsters will go down here, then that Fini is going to at the very least go down, and then Raikou is in one hell of a spot against that Gastrodon. Dogsy ideally needs the 2-0 here to sort of make it more comfortable, just in case, regardless of what happens. The Shadow Ball does take out the Necrozma. There's the critical hit, gets the critical hit on the Gastrodon, and the ninjas take the lead in this second game, and now that makes Dogsy's job all the much harder. He has a complete uphill battle now to try and bring this back. Of course, anything could happen. It's still only game number 2. So Oranguru switches out, and it is Camerupt against leading the same way, and the ninjas switch things up though and go for the Electros and the Raikou this time. So we've seen Electros last week against the nice Sidonia. We saw a Choice Scarf set with Acid Spray there and Flame for, so could be. There is the Acid Spray, so it is Acid Spray there. It does drop the special defense Oranguru. There's the Aura Sphere, but it does nothing to the Oranguru. The Oranguru just tanks it. There's the air power from the Camerupt. That's some really good damage up to the Raikou, and Trick Room. It does go up, so that's not going to be what ninjas wanted in that scenario then. And yeah, really not at the best of starts there. I think they were hoping that the the special defense drop in the aura sphere would be enough to take out the Orangu just absolutely tanks the hit. Absolutely bulky boy. And now Cameron's in a great position to just get those eruptions off. You know, Orangu can just go for the instruct, Cameron just go for eruption, and can really start sort of wrecking through the team. So in comes the Serena, but that's not a great switch, and Serena's going to go down. The Eruption Electros just about hangs on there. There's the instruct. Eruption's going to go off again, and Electros are going to go down, and all of a sudden on turn number 3, 2 Mons down for the Ninjas, and they've got one hell of a mountain to climb, come back up. Of course, Raikou down below half HP, does get the Misty Terrain up, and the Misty Seed does give them that special defense buff, but really well played there from Dogsy. Gets that double eruption off, and this one looks over. There's the eruption. That's going to take out the Raikou. Is a second eruption going to do enough to the Tapu Fini? It is going to resist, as it does get at least a take out. And there's the Surf. Gets rid of the Camerupt to get some really good damage to the Orangu, so Camerupt is at least gone now with 2 Tender Trooper. But this could be way too much for the Ninjas to come back from now, as in comes the Gastrodon. And you know, just in case any more Surfs come their way, it's going to have to try not to buff that Gastrodon up if you can help it. There's the air power from the Gastrodon. Going to go for the instructor, get another air power off. Gastrodon's going to get it done, and Dogsy ties us up at 1 apiece now. That was over in almost a flash 4 turns, and that one has done great stuff there from Dogsy. Brings us back into the game, and we move on to an all-important game number 3 then. This is all or nothing for the ShadowKings. They need the victory here to give themselves their best chance of making playoffs. It is Politoed and the Serena starting these off the Ninjas, as Illumis and Necrozma this time. So Dogsy completely switching things up from how he started the last 2 games, and the Ninjas trying something different as well. Maybe trying to dissuade those eruptions from the Camerupt, gets the rain off straight away. Of course, that Illumis does run the Struggle Bug. It's going to drop the special attack at least on the Politoed. It's going to do some good damage to the Serena as well. There's a Sunny Day, so Illumis does switch out. There's the Solar Beam, and Politoed just about hangs onto that and does proc the Agua Berry. Power Whip's going to go into the Necrozma. That's some really good damage off. And there's the air power from the Politoed, so not something you see very often from the Politoed. You know, probably a good thing didn't go for any water move there, because would have been completely nullified by that weather change from the Illumis. So smart stuff there from Dogsy. Just gives himself a good chance there and gets a really good damage off with the Solar Beam. Politoed not going to live another one of those, and Necrozma is faster than both the Politoed and the Serena. This is a good start again from Dogs. Of course, Dogsy gets the win here, puts all of the pressure on the Swindon Rookidees and the TYRANITAR. There's the Meteor Beam from Groza, giving himself that special attack, makes the right call and sees the Protect coming. That's a great call then, gets rid of the Politoed with that Meteor Beam, and now the Necrozma has that buff special attack. Now in comes the Raikou then. Is 3 turns a Tailwind to go, and Illumis did get the Tailwind set up on that turn. So Necrozma then going to be faster than this Raikou now. Is in a bit of a spot here. Dogsy once again getting that speed control. There's the Struggle Bug, is going to drop the special attack on that Raikou, which is very important stuff. There's the air power from the Necrozma, but the Raikou does live, and the Shadow Ball's going to go into the Necrozma, and the Necrozma goes down, and all of a sudden it is 1 apiece. There is the play rough into Illumis. Illumis just sort of tanks that hit essentially. Goes down to 63% HP with 2 turns after Tailwind. Sun is still up. So if Cameron want to go there, then there's the Ditto, and Ditto copies the Serena then, so that's Grace up there, gets the Serena, and now it's going to depend whether the Ninjas have got anything to hurt this Serena now that the Ditto's copied. You can see there that hovering over the Weather Ball. Going to have to make sure that he takes out the Raikou. Dogsy. Is he going to see that there's potentially a Weather Ball on there? The quick claw activates. There's the light screen player off, goes into the Raikou. Raikou goes down then, and there is the high jump kick, and the Illumis get some more damage away, and now it is it's a 3v2, and the final one is the Tapu Fini. Does get that special defense buff, but it's not going to be useful here against this Ditto, and this is not great, not a great position for the Ninjas to be in at all. That Tapu Fini is not going to enjoy taking a power whip from the Serena. This is going to be very difficult to come back from. Dogsy once again has played this really smart with his speed controls. Is he going to be able to do it? said a win. And he gives himself the best chance of making playoffs, so is going to need a good result in our next match so that he can make it in. And then just try to decide what's the next best thing. Quick look comes, there's the power whip, and that's going to take out the Tapu Fini, and power whip does land. There's the struggle bug again to get some really good damage into Serena. Serena now has it all to do. There's the player up to take out the Illumis, but it's now a 2v1. Ditto and the Oranguru to take on the Serena. And this one looks done and dusted. Then so Dogsy going to take this one 2-1, not only getting himself the victory, but that's his first win over Matt. There's the player rough into Serena, doesn't quite take it out. There's the power whip into Oranguru. Oranguru's going to go for that instruct. And there's the player off. The player off misses this time though, so the Ditto not able to take out the Serena. But I think either way, this is all the same. It is done. Serena is down at 7% HP. There goes the ally switch. Player comes out from the Ditto, and Dogsy gets himself the victory then. So congratulations to Dogsy on getting the win, and GG's. That was a really, really fun set of play. That game 2 was absolutely crazy. It was absolutely just over in a flash. 2-1 win. Is it going to be enough? We're not going to wait around. We're going to get right into this next game. It is the Space City PC taking on TYRANITAR Tyrants. Of course, these two are our brand new teams for this season, and Silver really needs the victory here. You know, is on quite a hell of a losing run, and is going to need that win to ensure he makes playoffs. If he loses, then destiny is not in his hands, and he's going to have to hope that the Rookidees lose out to the to South Croydon SAURS, or his playoff dream is done. Over on the other hand, Space City PC trying to get that second place spot in the British Mountain League. What a debut season that Meme and Space City have had. So I just want to say, let's give it up for Meme and Space City PC. They have been phenomenal this season, as have the Tyrants as well. You know, with one thing that we'll say from Silver, you know, he's come from a singles background. You know, he doesn't play doubles or competitive. And you wouldn't think it, you wouldn't know it looking at his season. He's been really great, and we've seen some really interesting strats from the guy. So, you know, full credit to both teams here. They've really put on a show for us, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have both teams a part of the British Football League. But in this one then, I would think that the Mega Diancie is going to be very, very strong for the Tyrants in this one. If they elect to bring it, you know, just in case that Mega Charizard comes his way, you know, yes, okay, it does have the 4x weaknesses, but, you know, it's such a strong one. And of course does have that ally switch as well, which can be really, really big. Does sort of double spread moves, so like Rock Slide, or even the, sorry, not Rock Slide, Diamond Storm and the Astral Barrage. If Silver was to go just all out offensive, you know, it could work really well in his favor. I doubt that he would do that. You know, Silver's playstyle tends to be very sort of slow, stall, conservative, which has worked very well in the past. Could be the way to go. Of course, Meme has sort of adopted that strategy as well. You know, we've seen the Umbreon and the Rotom Wash pair really, really well together. You know, Rotom Wash gets the screen set up, Electro Web dropping the speeds, and of course runs Thunderbolt, and Umbreon with the Moonlight, with the Foul Play, Snarl, and, you know, the what's its other move? Toxic as well, you know, just for that Toxic spam stall can just make it such a handful to deal with, and it's going to be a really interesting meeting of the minds here, because Meme has that sort of element to his play, but of course does have the all-out offensive with the likes of the Mienshao, Groudon paired with the Venusaur, or, you know, something like the Mega Charizard as well, and, you know, can sort of go for a sort of slow mode as well. You know, there are a few slow mods on that team that benefit from the Trick Room that just know how to set up. I wouldn't think we'll see Trick Room set up from Silver that, you know, chooses not to play in and around speeds, just sort of goes for it. Crobat does tend to set up Tailwind if he's going to set up anything, and then start getting those toxic poisons in. We do see Sash on the Crobat quite a lot, just to try and keep it hanging around for as long as it can, and trying to be that little annoyance next to what's typically the Octillery. We've seen a few interesting things as well, you know, against Aaron last week, which fortunately didn't get it off, but we saw this skill swap try and come out to get the Harvest on the Octillery and swap Moody onto the Alolan Executor. So, you know, Silver's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, a lot of things in his arsenal. You know, one thing I'll always watch out for is the trick on that Kali Shadow. He's been able to use that really, really well a few times this season. You know, one move that sticks in my mind is the trick play that he's, you know, he saw the Sucker Punch from the Kamala, took out his Kali Shadow the previous time, tricked the focus sash off his Crobat, which is already low on health, and enabled it to at least live an extra turn. It was just so smart play. So, you know, it's going to be a really, really difficult game to call. These two are really, really strong players. You know, Meme is in the fight for second place for good reason, and Silver's been in that top 8 for the large majority of the season for good reason as well. So he's not going to go down without a fight. But anyway, guys, let's get into this one. It is the Space City PC taking on TYRANITAR Tyrants, and that is very much the sort of expected team you see from Silver. Is the Kali Shadow Artillery, and Moongus Crobat alone execute on the Registeel. Meme kicking things off with the Mienshao and the Rotom Wash then. So a bit of an interesting pairing there, but does have Duskmore, the Umbreon, Groudon, and the Mega Charizard in the back. So no Venusaur this week, which you maybe would have expected considering how strong that Octillery can be once it gets those melee boosts. And there is a Protect from the Octillery. I was just about to say Octillery does like to go for those Protects. Tailwind comes out from that Crobat, and that Thunder Wave is going to be blocked by that Protect knockoff, getting some good damage into that Crobat, and does knock off that Sash. Not that it really matters now. Crobat down to 59% HP. Was maybe hoping that it would take it out in that time, but not to be. You cannot sleep on that Mienshao on Meme's side. It is really strong. Mienshao does switch out, though, as in comes the Groudon to set that Sun. Just expecting maybe an attack from that Artillery. It has buffed its special defense. The Taunt now, and Substitute comes out from the Octillery. So there you go, then the Taunt from the Crobat. Really huge there on the Rotom Wash, and stop it from setting up any screens or Thunder Waves. And now Groudon is on the field. Groudon with a whole host of spread moves. There's the Toxic from the Crobat. Scald comes out from the Artillery. It's not going to do too much to that Groudon. There's the Thunderbolt to take out the Crobat on it. Is First Blood to me. Rock Slide is going to break that Substitute. And now Artillery has dropped its defenses thanks to that melee boost, but now has buffed its speed and its attack. Not that it's really going to get much benefit from that. Rotom Wash a little bit nullified here now, has to go for the Thunderbolts, but that maybe helps it in this scenario against the Octillery. So Silver just choosing what he wants to bring in, and in comes the Amoonguss. That maybe not what you want facing down against a Groudon, you know, which Groudon does tend to run that Fire Punch or Heat Crash, which in the Sun the Amoonguss is not going to enjoy taking very much. It does have Tailwind up to Silver, so it might make a difference. The Substitute comes out from the Octillery. It's going to immediately get broken by that Thunderbolt, and there is the Fire Punch into the Amoonguss, but Amoonguss hangs on through that. There is the Giga Drain from the Amoonguss, so that gets some HP back and gets some good damage off away to the Rotom Wash. And more Moody boosts for that. Octillery has got the special attack boost this time, which could be all important for that Octillery to try and bring us back into this game. There's Protect, try and get some HP back. Protect comes out from the Amoonguss as well, so double Protect. Taunt ending on the Rotom Wash now, so it means it can get the light screen up, which could be really huge. Try and stop this Octillery. Gets another boost there at the speed, and more toxic damage coming out into that Groudon. So Groudon really put on a timer now. He'll be doing more and more damage each turn, so he's got to try and get the kills off with this Groudon, or it's going to be too little too late. But advantage still on Meme's side. Still has a Mon advantage. You would expect that Kali Shadow is the last thing in the back. Protect does fail on the Amoonguss. There's a Substitute though from the Octillery. Thunder Wave fails though on the Rotom Wash, obviously trying to T-Wave into that Octillery. Fire Punch going to get rid of that Amoonguss, and now is a 2v4. Groudon though on very, very little health. And some more Moody boosts coming out for Octillery. Now has the 3-time special attack, and the Sun has now ended for Groudon, which is a really, really bad news. And Kali Shadow is indeed the final Mon. One Astral Barrage here may be enough to take out both Mons here, and Ty is up at 2v2. And Protect comes out from the Kali Shadow, and there's a Protect from the Octillery as well. Shadow Claw blocked by that Protect as well, so Silver does get some good innovation. Groudon goes down to that Toxic Poison, so Silver clearly just trying to wait for that Toxic Poison to end, and now in comes the Mienshao. So Mienshao of course does run Sucker Punch, so is Silver going to be aware of that? You know, one Sucker Punch is, as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, is enough to take out that Kali Shadow. Very, very frail, but very, very strong if it gets those Astral Barrages off. There is the Psychic from the Kali Shadow, takes the Mienshao down with Sash. The knockoff comes out though, so no Sucker Punch, but does get rid of the Kali Shadow, and now it's all up to the Octillery. Thunderbolt is going to fade that Substitute, and Scald is going to get rid of the Mienshao, so it is now a 2v1. 4-time special attack for Octillery is now in. Comes the Mega Charizard then, so Mega Charizard the final one for Memes. And this could be really huge here. I don't think the light screen is going to save that Charizard from a 4-time special attack Scald, but does at least set up the Sun. Protect comes out from that Octillery, and that Sun may be the thing that saves the Mega Charizard from that Scald. There is the Moody Boost, gets the Speed Boost, but does drop its special attack. Could that be huge then in Silver trying to bring this back? Rotom Mush still sat here from turn 1. Protect comes out from that Charizard, sees the attack coming, and now the Thunderbolt's going to hit, get some really good damage away. That Octillery, that special defense boost, really helping it out, and gets another one just for good measure and drops its defenses. And now this is going to be all important. Is Mega Charizard going to be able to live this? And Octillery is obviously not going to live another T-Bolt from that Rotom Mush, so Silver got to make a choice wise, and there is the Protect. So it didn't go for the fire attack there under the Sun, which you maybe thought he would have. But now it's a 4-time speed Octillery. This Octillery and its Moody Boost, man, it's absolutely crazy. There's a Scald, so it's not going to take out the Rotom Wash though. There's the Air Slash from the Mega Charizard. Thunderbolt's going to get the job done, and Meme takes the lead on this one. Maybe he should have been trying to go into that Mega Charizard there, but I could see what he was going for. Try and get rid of the main thing, would do damage to him. And now we move on to the second game, and Silver's got to try and bring it back. This time he's going all out offense with the Kali Shadow and the Crobat, and Meme kicking things off with the Rotom Mush and the Mega Charizard then. So again, trying to get that weather up just to try and nullify that Octillery. Dogsy going to be sat at home watching this with absolute glee, seeing that Silver is one down. This is what he needs to make it in. Astral Barrage is going to take off into Rotom Wash, get some really good damage away, and the Rotom Wash almost taking out the Crobat hanging on with 13% HP. The Protect there really saving the Mega Charizard from the Astral Barrage damage. And there is a second Astral Barrage. Is it going to be enough? It takes out the Rotom Wash. Mega Charizard does hang on, so gets a special attack boost from that Grimnir. There is the Tailwind from the Crobat as well. Heat Wave though, it's going to take out the Crobat. The Kali Shadow does manage to hang on. And now in comes the Amoonguss again. Maybe not what you want with a Firemon under the Sun, but all the same, could be really. We saw it live a Fire Punch from Groudon in the previous game, so we know how defensively bulky this Amoonguss is. And there is the Mienshao then. So Silver, well aware this Mienshao has Sash, has potentially got to double into it to make sure it goes down. Kali Shadow is not living an attack here from either the Charizard or the Mienshao. Protect does come out from the Amoonguss. There is the Psychic to take the Mienshao down with Sash. And there is the knockoff, so Kali Shadow does go down. And there is the Heat Wave, which obviously blocked by that Protect. So now is a 3v2. What is the final one? It is the Octillery then. So 2 more turns of Tailwind. You would expect a Protect's going to come out from that Octillery just to try and let itself get a Moody Boost without being under the threat of an attack. Sun has got another couple of turns to go, so this Amoonguss is in a very scary spot facing down that Charizard. Groudon switches out, just sees the Sun's going to end soon. There is the Air Slash, gets the critical hit. Amoonguss does hang on, but gets the flinch, which is all important. Gets some HP back thanks to Black Sludge. And there is the Moody Boost then, so gets a defense drop when an attack in. So the defense drop is not what you'll wanted against the Groudon. And Groudon switches out, in comes Mienshao again, Protect comes out from the Amoonguss. There's the Heat Wave, is it going to get some good damage away? Octillery does, but there's the Scald, it gets rid of the Mega Charizard, it's now a 2v2, and the Sun ends, but that's the perfect timing for Meme, as he's going to be able to bring Groudon in to reset that Sun, and gets his special defense drop on the Octillery, and this time gets the defense boost, which could be all important against this Groudon. This is it then, as it comes down to all or nothing. Silver needs to get these 2 kills to keep himself in this one, or Meme is going to take this 2-0, and then he's relying entirely on Swindon not winning. And there's the Precipice Blaze, it takes out the Amoonguss, it's all up to Octillery. Scald is going to take care of the Mienshao, so it is now Groudon versus the Octillery. It's got the 2-time speed boost. Is it going to be enough? Is the Groudon going to be slower than that Octillery with that speed boost? I think a Scald here is not going to do enough with the Sun being up, so this one could be done. There's a Protect from the Octillery. He's going to block that Shadow Claw from the Groudon. Is it going to get the speed boost that it needs? Gets a special drop, but it drops the speed. It gets a special defense boost, but it drops the speed, and now you would presume that Groudon's going to be faster. This is it. This is the all-important turn for Silver's playoff streams. Who's going to do it? Is Meme going to take this one? Are we going to a game number 3? I would say it's all but over now, but you never know. And there is the Shadow Claw. It's going to get rid of the Octillery, and Meme takes this one 2-0. And now the Tyrant's fate is well in the Swindon Rookidees' hands. Unfortunate for Silver. That was really, really well played from both guys. I told you guys that was going to be a really close last game. It looked very... I was very unsure whether Meme was going to have an answer to that sort of stall play. You know, it took his time to take out that Octillery in that game number 1, but really took off in the game number 2. That Mega Charizard, you know, working really well, and that switch in to get the Sun back as well in game 2, proving all important. I think Octillery, if it had got the right moody boost at the end there, could have went a bit differently. But you know, no, he's not quite into the playoffs yet. He's got to hope that the Rookidees, he's got to hope that the Rookidees lose here. So let's get into this one. It is South Croydon SAURS taking on the Swindon Rookidees then. So, as we mentioned earlier on in the show, head-to-head wise, Swindon do not have the best of records against Crizzle South Croydon SAURS. Swindon lost out both times last season to Crizzle. You know, all importantly, Crizzle did end his 7-game winning streak last season. So, again, Draco going to be looking for a little bit of revenge in this one. Try and bring this back, but more importantly, he has got to get the victory here to ensure he makes that playoffs spot. So, you know, if we thought the last couple of weeks were all or nothing for Draco, this really is it. You know, it's not going to be a case of you know, it goes on to another week and Draco gets another chance. If he loses here, he's done. If he wins, then he's through, and Silver will be the one that gets relegated then. So it could be it could be curtains for Draco, or we could be about to see him for the next couple of weeks in playoffs, which I'm sure Draco will be vying for. So a lot of Draco's team is set up very well to work in the rain. You know, the only thing that really doesn't benefit too much from it is the likes of the Volcarona. You know, the Melmetal is going to absolutely thrive in the rain that Kyogre would be setting up. The Mega Gyarados as well. You know, Yveltal, you could argue, is going to do pretty well in the rain. It doesn't really get too much benefit from it, but it doesn't lose too much from it either. Tapu Koko as well could benefit from it with, you know, going to be able to get those Thunders off with, you know, 100% accuracy. So a lot of different routes that Draco could take it here. You know, you could see the likes of the physical one of Torterra, or you know, a physical Koko set could even come out here to try and take out that Kyogre. I'm just going to switch the song there. That was just noise. But got to be careful of the, you know, of switch-ins. You know, the Mega Swampert here could play really big dividends to the likes of that Tapu Koko. You know, if Crizzle's able to get a good switch in on that Kyogre. Of course, the Mega Swampert is immune to those electric attacks. One thing it's not going to like though is the Torterra. You know, Torterra has type advantage over the Kyogre and the Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert 4 times weak to grass, so Crizzle got to be careful of that. You may see, you know, something like the Indeedee Male come out, you know, set up that Psych Terrain, just to block those priority moves. You know, we know that the Mimikyu likes to run those Shadow Sneaks after its Swords Dance or got the Trick Room up, so could well be the sort of route that that Crizzle takes here. But has a lot of options with, you know, with him being under the rain as well. That speed boost from Swift Swim that Mega Swampert will get could be very, very useful. You know, while you know, Koko can't really touch the Mega Swampert, it can do some really big damage with those high horsepowers. You know, and can get some really big damage off into that Melmetal as well. You know, Melmetal's not going to enjoy facing down a high horsepower from that Mega Swampert, nor is it going to enjoy taking a water spout from Kyogre. You know, Melmetal doesn't have the best of special defenses to be able to sort of take that sort of attack. So could be a very, very interesting one. As I said, I think Volcarona stays home in this one. You know, just not going to get any sort of benefit from Rage Powders, and it's going to get absolutely wrecked by the sort of Watermons in Crizzle's team. So a lot of interesting ways this one could go. But this is it then. Another all or nothing match. It is South Croydon SAURS taking on Draco's Swindon Rookidees then. So there you go. There is the team of 6 for Draco. It is the Tapu Koko, the Yveltal, the Mega Gyarados, Melmetal, the Mimikyu, and the Torterra. On Crizzle's side, it is the Linoon, the Aurorus, Whimsicott, Mega Swampert, Kyogre, and of course the Pheromosa on the end. Now we've seen Pheromosa doing really big work as a support one in the last couple of weeks. So, you know, do not sleep on that thing. And of course, Ferret as well with its follow me's could be really huge. Just to try and keep damage away from that Kyogre and get those spread moves off. That is a Ferret indeed, as Draco does kick things off with the Tapu Koko then alongside the Yveltal, and Krizzle has got the Kyogre and the Pheromosa, so Kyogre gets that rain up, more all importantly. And Pheromosa as well, got to be careful of those flying moves on the Yveltal. Of course, Pheromosa we have seen be Focus Sash in the last couple of weeks, so maybe not going to matter too much. There's the Wild Charge, it's going to take out the Kyogre, and Koko gets the first kill on the board, just gets some recall damage for its troubles, but all the same gets rid of the Kyogre. The Electro Web comes out from the Pheromosa, it's going to drop the speed. A dual Wing Beat from the Yveltal then, so a physical move on the Yveltal does miss, thankfully, for Krizzle there. Krizzle had been gasping for his life there, you know, seeing that miss, because that could have been really, really huge, as now Mega Swampert is going to switch into the field. It's going to get a lot of benefit from that rain, meaning it's going to be able to go first. Koko then moving at lightning speed, you'd think that's going to be Choice Scarf Koko then. And I think at this point that Draco's got to switch out the Koko, and he does his now. In comes the Torterra then to the Swampert, just goes for Mega Protect, comes out from that Pheromosa, seeing that the Dual Wing Beat might come out, but the Protect comes out from the Yveltal, and Liquidation gets some really good damage there into the Torterra and does drop its defense as well. Of course, Torterra with its Grass Ground typing means that the water type attacks are going to be doing neutral damage, so that's a really big hit into that Torterra. Considering that's probably going to be Draco's best bet at taking out this Mega Swampert. He's got to be careful here. Try and keep this thing alive. Protect does indeed come out from the Torterra. There's the Electro Web from the Pheromosa. Gets some good super effective damage on the Yveltal. It's going to mean it's going to slow it, and the Ice Punch is blocked from the Mega Swampert. And there's the Dual Wind Beat, so it does land this time. Takes Pheromosa down with Sash. It's going to hit twice, and Pheromosa goes downstairs. Now all of a sudden is a 4v2 in Draco's favour. So this is a really great start, as now in comes the Ferret then. So it's Ferret and Mega Swampert at Krizzle's final hopes here. So it's going to be pinning all his hopes on that Mega Swampert to try and sweep through. I wouldn't imagine that Ferret's got any kind of damaging moves on it. You would expect just to see the follow me's coming out from the Ferret. Try and just sort of get some damage away from the Mega Swampert. You know, he's going to be expecting a Grass Stand, as in comes the Mega Gyarados. Then it's going to get the Intimidate off on the Mega Swampert, which could be really huge. It's going to proc the Yashi Berry on the Torterra, but it's not going to matter because it's going to go down all the same. And now that's some good information on Krizzle, knows what item is on that Torterra and has got at least one back, so it is now 2v3. And Tapu Koko going to switch in to the field once again. You know, going to be able to change what move it uses now. It's come out and came back in. We're doing those Choice Scarfed. And again, that's going to be some good information. Chris the Gyarados goes for its Megas. It is Mold Breaker. Protect comes out from the Ferret. Then there is the Grass Knot from the Koko. Then to Swampert, just about hanging on from that. Gets the High Horsepower off and gets rid of the Tapu Koko there. As now in comes the Yveltal. Then just Draco did a bit of a stand skip there at the end. And now this is it. Is a 2v2. Is Mega Gyarados and Yveltal versus Mega Swampert and Ferret. This one looks all but done and dusted, unless this Mega Swampert can somehow bring this back. You know, we have seen it running fighting moves in the past, which, you know, going to do some good damage to the Mega Swampert and Mega Gyarados. Sorry, there's the follow me. The Oblivion Wing is going to hit that Ferret, so it's going to get some good HP back there for the Yveltal. It's going to proc the Citrus Berry on the Ferret. There is the Ice Punch from the Mega Swampert, so Yveltal just about hanging on for that. And there's a Crunch from Mega Gyarados, going to get rid of it. And now all of a sudden, Mega Swampert with it all to do. In a 1v2, Darpulse comes out from the Yveltal, and Draco's going to take the lead into this one, so making a perfect start. He's got to win here to make playoffs then, and if he does win, what this is going to mean is, because Dogsy has already won, that the next team up, Scuba Squirtles taking on Newcastle Thunderous, Niels is going to be out of the running then, as we move on into game number 2. So Niels going to be watching this one very carefully, as Draco chooses to kick things off the same way as he started game 1, the Tapu Koko and the Yveltal, and Krizzle this time kicking things off with the Kyogre again, but has got the Ferret next to it instead, just to try and sort of get that wild charge damage away from the Kyogre, seeing how much it did last time. You know, it absolutely slapped that Kyogre silly. We've not seen it take an Oko like that since Kamala in week number 1. I'm sorry for the flashback there, Krizzle. But it's massive there from Krizzle, you know, seeing that there's not really any spread moves on Draco's side that can do some big damage away to Kyogre. Kyogre's going to probably be free to just go for a water spout. It's some really, really good damage off here. So Draco has got to be careful. got to hope that he's able to take out this ferret and the Coco at least lives here, or is going to be in some trouble. And it looks like the Coco could be going for a U-turn here to try and switch out. Turtle's just got to sort of go for damage and hope it's able to do enough to take out the ferret and live. Either the Origin Pulse or Water Spout. You would expect it to be Water Spout. There is the U-turn as we mentioned there, so Coco going to switch out. What's going to switch in its place then? I see Draco hovering over his options to switch in, just trying to think carefully about what he wants to bring in versus this big water beast. And in comes the Torterra then. There's the Dark Pulse. It's going to get rid of the ferret then, so that's good news there. At least one down. And there is the Water Spout. It's going to get rid of both your Veltal and the Torterra. So it's Crizzle there in chat confirming it was Choice Specs Kyogre as well, and it putting in the work. And all of a sudden it is 3v2. Pheromosa and Kyogre versus now Tapu Koko and the Mega Gyarados. What an absolutely crazy turn one there from Crizzle. Kyogre just getting 2 easy kills and just mopping up. The Torterra just didn't know what it was switching into. And now Draco's on the back foot a little bit here. You know, Crizzle well aware that that Koko is scarf, so you may see Protect come out from the Kyogre this time around. Just try and keep it in it. I think another Water Spout here could do some really big damage. Of course, the Gyarados is going to resist its attack. I think it's still going to get some really good damage off. Of course, I would very much doubt that Koko is going to be able to live that. So Draco's got to get an attack off into Kyogre. And Kyogre switches out then. So great read there from Crizzle. Sees that the Wild Charge is coming. But it's not. It's a Grass Knot into this Mega Swampert. Then there's the Electro Web from the Pheromosa. That's going to drop the speed on the Koko and the Mega Gyarados. Crunch is going to take out care of the Mega Swampert. And now Kyogre's going to be able to switch back in against it. All of a sudden, is it 2v2? This is it then. Can Draco do it in this turn? Of course, now Koko is locked into Grass Knot. And has had its speed dropped by that Pheromosa with Electro Web. So it could be that Kyogre's going to be faster now. There is the Electro Web from the Pheromosa. Is that going to be enough? There's the Water Spout from Kyogre. It gets rid of both Gyarados and the Koko. And Crizzle is going to tie us up at 1 apiece and makes Draco wait an extra game. So this is it then. Draco's playoff chances come down to this one. He's got to get the victory here to make sure he makes it in. If he loses, then it could be curtains for him. If he wins, though, absolute pandemonium in the Swindon Rookidees house. And Crizzle switching things up completely on his head. Brought the Aurorus and the Pheromosa this time. And Draco goes for his Trick Room Jaw of the Mimikyu and the Melmetal then. Might not even need Trick Room here, to be honest. Unless that Aurorus has got some, you know, a good special attack to take out the Melmetal, which we have seen it running Earth Power in the past. So gotta be careful. There's the Electro Web. It's going to break the disguise on the Mimikyu, which is all important. It's going to drop the speeds. Of course, Melmetal's not going to care too much about. There's the Meteor Beam though from the Aurorus, and it takes care of the Mimikyu. But there's a double Iron Bash in the Pheromosa. That's going to get rid of the Pheromosa. And now that's 1 down a piece. So decent start for both players. You know, it's got rid of the Mimikyu. And now in comes the Whimsicott. And there is the Mega Gyarados then. Gets the Intim off onto Whimsicott and the Aurorus. Got to be very careful here as Whimsicott has not been known to run Moonblast and, you know, Energy Ball. There's the Air Power from the Aurora, so the Melmetal does manage to hang on from that. There's the Waterfall from the Mega Gyarados that gets rid of the Auroras. Double Iron Bash is going to take care of the Whimsicott despite the Agua Berry, and now it is 1v3 all just this in 1 turn. It's completely flipped on its head, and this looks like Draco's going to be able to do it, but now in comes the Kyogre then. What has Draco got in his locker to be able to take this thing out? Is there a grass move running on? There's the Water Spout, so it gets rid of the Melmetal. Melmetal does go down, so it's 1v2. There's the Power Whip onto the Kyogre, and Draco wins this one 2-1. And Draco, congratulations, has made it into the British Pokemon League Season 3 playoffs. And that does mean then, with that one, that Niels can no longer make playoffs and is another team confirmed for our British Pokemon League Championship. And after all of that, it also means that Silver's Tyranitar Tyrants are relegated to the British Pokemon League Championship with 2nd place after week number 6, and now find themselves sat in 9th place and are down and out and won't be joining the other 8 in the playoffs, unfortunately. But so commiserations to those two guys, you know, played their hearts out. And, you know, Niels came in, full credit to him, came in at the halfway point to replace outgoing Latvian and has tried to do his best. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out, and I'm sure we'll see Niels come back with a bang, and Silver especially, I think, will be trying to make his way back. But massive congratulations got to go to Draco for, you know, played that one really well. You know, completely smashed Crizzle in that game 3. It looked very scary after that game 2, you know, after that Kyogre got those water spouts off, but you know, able to bring it back in that game 3 and gets his first win against Crizzle as well. So it's an absolute week of firsts this week. You know, getting the win against Crizzle is not an easy task. You know, not many manage to do it. So well played to Crizzle as well. You know, is now going to be finishing in 3rd place. Of course, Meme, after getting that win over Silver, will be 2nd place and 2nd seed into playoffs. But on our next one in is Newcastle Thunderers facing Scuba Squirtles. Of course, this one now has very little meaning, to be honest, for Niels. Is going to be just trying to finish as high as possible as he can, but it's pretty much already confirmed for that 10th place spot. Is going to just want to try and end this one on a high, and Dave is going to want to try and get a bit of a change in fortunes. You know, the last couple of weeks haven't really went his way. He did get that, of course, that forfeit win over Silly's Long Island Goomies, but in the grand scheme of things, has been on a bit of a losing streak since taking on the Wobbuffet Ninjas a couple of weeks back. So this one ought to be a close one, I think. You know, there's a lot of Dave's team that doesn't manage too well with that Psychic Terrain duo. You know, Ferrophone, especially, got to be careful of that Entei and its Sacred Fires. But the Psychic Terrain duo of Alakazam and the Indeedee could be really big here. You know, that Alakazam has been known to run Shadow Ball and Dazzling Gleam as well. The Shadow Ball's going to do some really big damage into like the likes of that Mega Banette if it does come. So maybe we'll see Dave bring the Wheezing Galar, just try and nullify those abilities. But got to be careful. Of course, if that Slacking comes, could nullify that Truon on the Slacking and really help out the help out Niels in this one. So got to be careful in his mon choice here, and what Niels decides to do. You know, I would think the Instant is going to stay home again in this one, just seeing the amount of Psychic Terrain coming out. Of course, Tapu Lele going to benefit from that terrain as well, so we may see a bit of an expanding force battle. Again, it could be one where Ash Greninja stays home as well. You know, just seeing the likes of that expanding force spam coming out, and the fairy moves on Dave's side as well. You know, from that Tapu Lele might sort of dissuade him away from doing that. But you never know. You know, Niels the last couple of weeks has been bringing a very sort of similar set of Ash Greninja, Indeedee, Alakazam, Entei, Volbeat, and the Slacking. So I wouldn't expect him to change it too much. We may see Ho-Oh come out in this one, you know, seeing there's not too much sort of rock typing on Dave's side. It may feel a bit safer of it coming out, but you never know on that one. I think Dave's going to try and bring the Lantern in this one. You know, Dave loves that Lantern, like as his son. Might want to try and have one last little hurrah before playoffs. So it could be, it's a bit difficult to call which way this is going to go. I said I think Niels is more than likely going to bring his usual team of 6, but it's going to be interesting to see which way Dave goes. Is he going to try and take advantage of that terrain, or is he going to try and sort of flip it the other way? Of course, that Wheezing Galar, of course, if it doesn't run Neutralizing Gas, does have an option of bringing Misty Terrain itself. So, you know, a lot of different ways Dave could play this one, but let's get into this one. It is Newcastle Thunderers versus Scuba Squirtles. This one is a replay, so I will do my best to try and keep up with it. And Dave kicking things off with the Tapu Lele and the Suicune. Niels kicking things off with the Entei and the Volbeat. So the Lele just setting up the terrain for him. There's the Tailwind comes out and Alakazam does switch in. There is his Surf coming out from the Suicune, gets some good damage away to Alakazam and Volbeat. Thunder Wave's going to come out, but it's blocked by a Psychic Terrain, so it's a bit of a mistake on Niels' side. There's a Dazzling Gleam from the Lele. Going for that end defense, that turn 1 is a bit of an interesting play, I must say, but the Snarl from Suicune is going to get rid of that Alakazam and drops a special attack on that Volbeat as well, so that's a good start there from Dave. Gets 1-1 down, but in comes the Indeedee now. It gets rid of the Suicune. Lele, of course, going to resist that. Dazzling Gleam's going to just so much tickle the Lele, and Dazzling Gleam from the said Lele is going to take Indeedee and Volbeat down below half HP. Now in comes the Mega Banette. Uses Frisk and is going to find the Focus Sash on that Indeedee. Expanding Force is now going to get rid of that Lele. Dazzling Gleam not going to do too much to Burnett, but that's some really good damage with Burnett from that said Expanding Force. And now all of a sudden it is a 2v2. It's Entei and Volbeat versus Ferrothorn and Burnett. Ferrothorn goes through the Protect. There's the Tailwind from Volbeat, and Niels makes a great read there, sees the Protect coming out and gets rid of that Mega Burnett, and now it's all up to the Ferrothorn. There's the Thunder Wave, Sacred Fire is going to come out, and that gets rid of said Ferrothorn, and Niels takes the lead in this one then, so probably a bit of a surprise to a few people watching there. I don't think Niels would expect, the viewers were expecting much from Niels in this game, you know, seeing how well Dave's done this season, but takes a surprise lead, and there's the Frisk coming out from that Mega Burnett, sees the Specs and the berry on the Volbeat. Rain Dance comes out from that Mega Burnett, just about hangs on from that Shadow Ball from the Alakazam. Tailwind comes out from the Suicune, and I think it's a bit in vain. Here's now Dialga switches in for that Mega Burnett. Thunder Wave going to miss on that Suicune, and Dialga switches in to take that Shadow Ball really well. Snarl coming out from Suicune, just try and nullify that Alakazam's sort of slaying ability with the special attack. Shadow Ball again into Dialga, not going to take too much of it, does get a special defense drop, and there's the Flash Cannon into the Volbeat, procs his Citrus Berry, gets a bit of HP back, and another Snarl. So Dave just able to sort of safely Snarl spam here until he's able to take out the Alakazam. Dialga not going to go down to that Shadow Ball, nor the Dazzling Gleam despite the special defense drop. Flash Cannon, Volbeat just about hangs on there, but Surf is going to come out from Suicune and cause Telepathy means Dialga doesn't go down, and both Volbeat and Alakazam go down to that then. So great stuff there from Dave, bringing it back. Is now Entei switches in as well, and Indeedee. So Indeedee has not got the Psychic Terrain on it as well. Sacred Fire is going to take out Dialga, but there is the Surf from Suicune. Entei goes down to that, of course, and now it's all up to Indeedee versus Mega Burnett and Suicune. Expanding Force is going to get rid of Mega Burnett, but there is the Snarl from the Suicune. Indeed, he does manage to hang on from that there, so that's really interesting. As now in comes Lele to set up the terrain. Not going to be enough to the Suicune and Lele is going to tie us up then for Dave. So Dave moves us on to game number 3, try and get that victory then and go into playoffs on that high note. Neil switching things up for this one though, brings out the Ash Greninja and the Volbeat, and Dave kicking things off. There it is, there is the Lantern that we mentioned, and of course Mega Burnett as Lele switches in, gets the terrain up, Tailwind comes out from that Volbeat. There is he Dapples and Lele, so sees that, makes a great read there, seeing that the Dapples are going about. Volt Switch comes out from the Lantern, which is not quite enough to Ash Greninja, and Suicune switches in instead. Protect comes out from that Suicune. There is a Dapple, so really great Protect there from Dave. Dazzling Gleam not really going to do very much to that Tapu Lele, and Dazzling Gleam's going to come out from Dave's Lele to get rid of that Greninja, so Dave takes the lead on this one. Now in comes the Alakazam, Lantern switches in for there, but there's the Expanding Force. Lantern this week can take some really big damage there, and the Dazzling Gleam, Volbeat not going to quite do enough. There's the Snarl, it's going to miss the Alakazam, which could be all important. And that could be really huge there. Expanding Force going to get rid of both Lantern and Suicune, and all of a sudden it is now a 3v2 in Niels' favour. There's Alakazam is coming this game free and just absolutely swept house. Lele's going to switch back in, sees the specs on the Alakazam. Mega Burnett is going to go for its Mega. Tailwind comes out, I think it's going to be faster anyway, and Expanding Force gets rid of the Zam, and now Lele's got it all to do. Of course the Dazzling Gleam's not going to do enough, and it looks like Niels is going to take this one 2-1. Then T-Wave comes out from the Volbeat just for good measure. Expanding Force gets rid of the Lele, and Niels takes that game 2-1. So really huge victory for Niels there at the end. GG's to both guys there, and yeah, really big win for Niels to close out the season. You know, he wanted to end things on a high after, you know, I've said not having the best of times since joining the league. So again, commiserations to the guy, and we will certainly see him in the British Pokemon League Championship next season. But now Dave must turn his focus to the playoffs. He's got to try and put an end to this this losing run, I should say, and you know, just turn things around. You know, of course, all of our coaches do have an opportunity to make a singular trade going into playoffs. So maybe, you know, Dave changes things up and swaps something out just to try and change his fortunes. Knowing Dave, I think he'll probably stick to his guns. But you know, you never know. There's a few different options that are available in terms of free agents, and of course, the 4 teams that have been relegated, the teams in playoffs can sort of take and pick their choosing from the mons on those teams. So a lot of different options there that Dave might take, but we'll certainly see. But on to the next one then. We're going to fly through these ones now. It is the Inglorious Surfers taking on the Long Island Goomies. So Silly, again, you know, another match where, you know, one team has got the head-to-head record over the other. Silly has not yet beaten Aaron's Inglorious Surfers. But, you know, if we're going on the way the show has gone so far, those head-to-head records can be just forgotten about. Of course, Dogsy beat Ninjas and Matt earlier on, and Draco took out Crizzles, South Croydon SAURS to get their first win. So could we see another record broken? Are we about to see Silly hand Aaron just his second loss of the season? if anyone's going to do it in these final few games, it's going to be silly. You know, that Zan, Blastoise duo, Zan setting up Geomancy, and Blastoise with the fake out follow me pressure has been super strong for Silly. But knowing Silly, knowing it's the final game of the season, I can definitely see some interesting tech coming hit Aaron's way that Aaron's got to be prepared for. You know, one thing you're always going to give Silly credit for is his creativity with his teams. Even when a team looks sort of, you know, semi-standard, is able to just find all sorts of things that he can do to get the win. So Aaron definitely got to be not sleep on that for sure. I would think that the Geomancy sort of setup is the best way to play it, but on that same breath, I think Aaron is going to be well prepared for that. He's going to have something up his sleeve to try and sort of nullify that Xerneas. You know, as we saw a few times this season, the one thing that has been able to take out has been, you know, the likes of Spread Moose, and Aaron does have that in abundance. Not only does have the Zacian Crown, which matches up really well into that Xerneas if he's able to take care of the Blastoise, but has Rock Slides and Earthquakes on that Mega Aerodactyl. Has, of course, the Muddy Water on the Ludicolo, which, you know, Blastoise is not going to care too much about, but it might get some good damage away to the Xerneas under the rain. Has Dragon Energy on that Regidrago, which, you know, the Xerneas is going to resist, but those Dragon energies do hit very hard. And of course has Snarls on that Skuntank as well. So Aaron has a few options at this one, and you know, same on Silly's side as well. I'm sure he's got something to take care of that Zacian. If I know Silly, you know, the likes of that Honchkrow and Oricorio do get Feather Dance, which might be enough to drop his attack. Are we about to see Kamala get another legend? It has taken out almost every legend this season. Zacian, Lunala, and there's one more I'm missing. It is yet to take out, of course. Zacian could be another one to add to its hit list. We will certainly see, but let's get into this one. It is the Inglorious Surfers taking on the Long Island Goomies again. This one is a replay, so I'll do my best to keep up with it. And Silly has brought the Honchkrow, Oricorio, Mega Lucario, Xerneas, Blastoise, and the Kamala. Aaron has got the Mega Aerodactyl Hitmontop to lead things off, and there is the fake out on the Honchkrow. Protect comes out from the Oricorio, and Tailwind goes up for the Aerodactyls, and in comes the Blastoise, and the Xerneas, just a double switch in for Silly. Rock Slide comes out from that Aerodactyl, gets some pretty good damage away, and there's a triple axle from that Hitmontop. Hitmontop is going to be running Technician, so those triple axles are going to be doing even more damage. Fake out comes out from that Blastoise to nullify that Aerodactyl for this turn. Triple axle and Hitmontop though is going to get rid of said Xerneas then, so how huge could that be? Xerneas goes down, now in comes Oricorio. Aerodactyl switches out, and now in comes the Zacian Crown. Protect comes out from that Oricorio, and Mach Punch from the Hitmontop gets some really good damage off, and that's going to stop that Water Spout from doing anywhere near enough damage. And the Protect is going to fail on the Oricorio. Mach Punch comes into the Blastoise, just about hangs on. Sub going up for the Zacian. Shell Smash comes out from the Blastoise, and so it looks to be a more offensive Blastoise set that he's running. So we said he'd run a more interesting set. Whitehair going to return those negative stats to normal. Mach Punch comes out from the Hitmontop. Behemoth Blade is going to take Oricorio down to just 12% HP. Acrobatics not going to be quite enough to take out Hitmontop. And this is looking pretty painful here for Silly, as now the Blastoise goes down. Oricorio goes down to the Zacian. And now it's going to be all left up to Honchkrow to try and do this. Brave Bird is going to take out the Hitmontop though, so it gets at least one on the board. But there is the Behemoth Blade waiting from Zacian, and that's going to get rid of the Honchkrow, and Aaron takes the lead in this one. So a bit of sort of, you know, quick and done on that one, and Aaron kicking things off with the Mega Aerodactyl and Ludicolo this time. Silly this time with the Xerneas and the Blastoise. There's a fake out into the Aerodactyl, so at least stops that for one time. There's the fake out from the Ludicolo, and it's Reflect on the Xerneas, so it looks to be a support Xerneas set then. So a bit of an interesting one there. And Tailwind comes out. Leaf Storm is going to get blocked by that Protect, and Light Screen now goes up for Xerneas, as there's the Leaf Storm into Blastoise. Blastoise just about hanging on Ludicolo, of course, gets that special attack drop. Heal Pulse now on the Xerneas. Is it going to be enough to get the kill? No, Water Spout doesn't quite do enough to Aerodactyl, and there's the Whirlwind from the Aerodactyl. So Aaron did have something up his sleeve to get rid of the Zen, switches it back in there after Honchkrow switches in. Rock Slide going to miss the Blastoise thanks to that Protect, not going to do too much to Xerneas, and that Protect is going to block that Ludicolo from doing much damage. Of course, Ludicolo does have that special attack drop, as now in comes the Zacian Icy Wind coming Silly's way that drop the speed on the Blastoise, and it is going to proc the White Herb as well, so now can't really go for that that Shell Smash without risking the defense and special defense drop. There's Behemoth Blade onto the Blastoise. It does manage to sort of tank that, and there is said Shell Smash. Is that going to sort of hurt him though? So there's the Leaf Storm that was waiting and just about hangs on from that. Ludicolo drops his special attack a bit further, and Aaron thinks better of it and switches it out. Now in comes a Hitmontop. There is the Water, so it's going to do no damage with Blastoise on no HP. And the Zacian's going to take out said Blastoise. Now in comes the Oricorio then. Xenia switches in. Is that going to be wise though? Here's Protect, comes out for Oricorio, fake out into that Zen, not that's going to matter, but there's a sub from Aaron, so Aaron just choosing to sort of wait his time. And Behemoth Blade is going to get rid of the Xenius. Now is a 4v2. There's Revelation. That's it. It's going to break the sub on the Zacian. Triple Axel though is going to get rid of that Oricorio. And this one's looking like it's in the bag for Aaron. Another quick 2 and 0's Honchkrow switches in. Feather Dancer, there is the Feather Dance on the Honchkrow. We're going to drop the special attack on the Zacian, but gets the critical hit, so it doesn't matter. And Aaron's going to take the victory on that one. And his search for a win over Aaron must go on. So GG's to both players as always. Silly not able to end things on a high, as on a bit of a 2-game losing streak now going into the playoffs. But you know, playoffs, everything goes up in the air. You forget the main season form because it is absolutely, you know, everything is reset. You know, anything could happen in playoffs for sure. But Aaron goes into that one on is it a 3 or 4 game winning streak now? I don't remember. He's looking super strong into playoffs, and it's going to take a lot to stop him to try and retake his crown after winning in Season 2. So it's going to be exciting to see what Aaron can do in playoffs. But on to our final game of the week then. It is the California Bastiodons taking on the Knights of Sidonia. These two already confirmed as last place and second last place. I will say on this one, I will prefix this one, we're not going to do too much analysis. Because this match didn't matter, these two decided to sort of try a bit of memeing and sort of, you know, some funny strats and funny sets, which I don't blame them, to be honest. It was last game of the season, I've had nothing to play for. You might as well try something that's sort of different and fun. So I'm not going to try and predict what these two guys are going to do, because it won't be anything close to what they bring. But I would definitely think that Mega Metagross is going to be coming for Oma, as well as his mascot Pokemon, the Bastiodon. And you know, for Jabba's side, I would think that you would half expect the Lugia or maybe even the Mega Camera to come, just to try and get those big damage away to the likes of that Mega Metagross. Of course, going to be weak to fire moves. But anyways, we're going to get right into this one. We're not going to waste any time. Let's get into this final match. It is the Knights of Sidonia taking on the California Bastions. Oma kicking things off with the Mega Metagross and the Chandelure, and Jabba with the Mudsdale and the Jirachi. So Cosmic Power comes out from Oma, and there's the own tempos blocking that confusion from that Swagger from Jirachi. Heatwave from the Chandelure. Jirachi does manage to hang on for that, but Body Press comes out from the Mudsdale, so you maybe think that Jabba should be going for an attacking move there, but it's not going to matter because Metagross is going to get another Cosmic Power off. Trip comes out from the Chandelure then to give the Flame Orb to that Mudsdale. So Mudsdale now going to be banned, and Trick Room does at least go up from that Jirachi. So the Mudsdale's going to go first. It's going to take out that Chandelure. So first blood to Jabba then. It does take out his own Jirachi, unfortunately, but Mega Metagross just keeps going for those Cosmic Powers and boosting itself up. And now in swaps the Riolu. Azumarill goes for the Protect on Jabba's side, which switches in for the Fallen Jirachi. And Kochi comes out from the Riolu, so just completely buffing this Mega Metagross as much as he can. Another Cosmic Power coming out as well. And Riolu goes for a coaching again. It just about hangs on for the Earthquake. There's another Earthquake, take out the Riolu. So this is looking really strong for Jabba. And Charm comes out from the Azumarill to drop that Mega Metagross's attack. So at the moment, that Mega Metagross is just looking super bulky. Now Bastiodon is the final one for Oma. Magnet Rise comes out from the Bastion. So that's smart stuff there from Oma. Sees the fake out, the Earthquake coming. And it goes for the rest on the Mega Metagross. So it gets all that HP back, all that wear that Jabba's taken to take that Metagross down. Goes to the Sleep Talk and goes for yet another Cosmic Power. So now it is 4 times defense and 4 times special defense. Body Press comes out from the Mudsdale, so that's going to get some good damage away to Bastiodon, but not quite enough. And after that Charm, those Rock Slides are really not sort of hurting Azumarill or Mudsdale. There's the Thunder Punch, which goes into the wrong mon after that Sleep Talk. Another Charm from that Azumarill and another Body Press from Mudsdale. Going to really hurt that Bastion now. Those Rock Slides are just not doing anything. And the Mega Metagross is going to wake up. There's the Thunder Punch that takes out the Azumarill, so now all of a sudden it's a 2v2. Body Press going to take Bastion down to very low HP, but the Papa Berry is going to proc and at least allow it to get some HP back. Those Rock Slides really just not doing enough. You know, I think the burns are doing more. There's the Discharge from the Executory, of course. Mudsdale is immune to that and gets some good damage away. And the Thunder Punch is of course raised by Executory. Body Press going to take the Bastion, so it's all up to Mega Metagross then. That Mudsdale's on a bit of a timer here. You know, is losing HP rapidly from that burn. There's the Thunder Punch from the Mega Metagross. Body Press just not going to do anything to that Mega Metagross. It is fully bulky. Jabba just cannot do anything here. He's just on a timer before this Mega Metagross is able to take out the final 2 mons. There's the Body Slam from the Mudsdale, just trying all ways to get some good damage off. You know, all he needs ideally is a critical hit here and it'll be enough. it does get powered this time. The Mega Metagross body press comes out again, and the Mudsdale is down. There's a discharge from the circuitry, not going to quite do enough. The Sleep Talk this time from the Mega Metagross, a bit of a weird choice there. Rest comes out from Oma's Mega Metagross, gets up back with hit, full HP, of course, is running Sleep Talk, so it can go for an attack this time. Thunder Punch comes out, circuitry just about hanging on, as discharges not doing enough. And now this next Thunder Punch is going to do it. Circuitry goes down and Oma takes the lead on this one. And leads this one 1-0. So I will say on this game, they spent a little bit of time screwing around for about 10 or 15 times, so you will notice a bit of a time skip a little bit further in the game, but let's just commentate over what's happening now. Swagger comes out again from Jirachi, and this time Chandelure goes straight for the trick to get the burn on that Mudsdale. Body Press comes out, gets some really good damage on the Bastion, so of course Mudsdale is now burned. Swagger again from the Jirachi, just give it that even more attack. Energy Ball from the Chandelure, not quite enough to the Mudsdale, but of course it's going to take some big damage from that burn. And Papa Barry is procced on the Bastion and goes for an Iron Defense then. So Oma just trying to bulk up as much as possible. Now in comes the Salamence. Heat Wave though from Chandelure gets some really good damage to Jirachi, but Jirachi does just about hang on and does go for the Trick Room then. Rock Slide comes out from the Bastion, so he's really just helped out Oma's Bastion in this case. And Heat Wave there from Chandelure is going to get rid of the Jirachi, so it looks to be a choice item on the Salamence. And there's the Fire Fang, does get the burn on the Bastion, but maybe not the move you would have expected there. I would have hoped there would have been a crunch coming the Chandelure's way. There's a fake out from the Torracat. It's going to at least nullify Bastion for another 10. Salamence just about hangs on from those Heat Waves. Crunch not quite do enough to Chandelure. Sorry, it's not. It's Garbage Life Orb Salamence then. So it must be a bit of a slow Chandelure. Protect comes out from that Torracat. There's the Rock Slide from Bastion. It's doing 3. That's got a critical hit and did 3% damage. FK goes out from the Mudsdale, and that's going to get rid of the Chandelure. So at least Jabba does get one on the board. Both Mudsdale and Bastion betters out. In comes the Viola, then goes for the coaching to at least give Bastion neutral attack. Just not doing anything to Torracat. There's the body press to get rid of the Bastiodon then. And now it is in come the Mega Metagross here. And this is where you can see the time skip as Mudsdale goes down. Mega Metagross going to benefit from that coaching. As we move ahead, Thunder Punch comes out. And there is the Torracat gone then. And Oma is going to win that one 2-0 then. And finishes out the season with a 2-0 victory. The less said about that match, the better. It's all I'm going to say. It's very unfortunate with Oma. You know, I think if he'd picked a stronger team going into the season, he would have been right up there, and I'm sure would have finished the season strongly. You know, did finish 3rd place overall after playoffs in Season 2, but finds himself this season as one of the first teams in the British Pokemon League Championship. Jabba, of course, it just hasn't worked for him this season. You know, did get the Week 1 win over Dogsy, but since then just hasn't won, and it's been on a 10-game losing streak. So anyway guys, let's take a quick look at the league table then, our final league table of the season then. And as you can see, of course, the Surfers in first place, Space City PC in second with the 8-3 record, closely followed behind by South Croydon SAURS and the Ninjas on 7-4 and 6-5 respectively. Long Island Gummies in 5th place, also on 6-5, just separated by that match-winning record, so they will sit 5th place, and Newcastle Thunderers sit dead in the middle of the pack on that 5-6 record. But as you can see how close it was at the end there, 4 teams on 5-6, all separated by match record. ShadowKings and Tyrants not only went into the same score, the same sort of match winning record, but were separated by alphabetical order, which is absolutely sensational. That, you know, what a way to end up, you know, losing your spot in playoffs. You know, really unfortunate to Silver, and I do just have to say an apology to Silver for it to be decided like that. Unbelievable scenes, but Dogsy does make it into playoffs for the first time since Season 1. We get to see Swindon Rookidees in there again as well. So they're in for a 2nd season in a row. And our final 4 in the bottom 4 then will be moving down to the British Pokemon League Championship. It is the TYRANITAR Tyrants, Scuba Squirtles, California Bastions, and Knights of Sidonia then. Anyways, guys, let's take a look at the playoffs bracket then. Playoffs will be kicking off the weekend, the week of January the 2nd, and the playoff show will air on the January the 17th. At the end of said show, as we always do, grand finals will be hosted unless both players are unavailable to play on that day, in which case grand finals will take place on a day which is suitable for both players. But as you can see there, the Inglorious Surfers, so of course we've run this as 1st versus 8th, 2nd versus 7th, 3rd versus 6th, 4th versus 5th. So Inglorious Surfers will take on Dogsy's ShadowKings then, so that ought to be a very exciting one. We know how close it was last time these two played. Decided in that game 2 by that crazy RNG. So Dogsy going to be looking for a bit of revenge there. The second match is the Space City PC taking on Swindon Rookidees. Of course, Meme got a pretty sort of convincing win over Draco last time, and it is Draco's only defeat in the last 5 or 6 matches. So Draco's really turned around the second half of the season and played it super well. So congrats to Draco again on making close. So that ought to be, again, Draco going to be looking for that revenge, going to try and bounce back and make it through, make it a bit further than he did last season. Of course, lost out in the first round of playoffs and then went out in losers round 1. Then we have got the South CROYDON SAURS taking on Newcastle Thunderous. So Dave actually got the win over Crizzle last time round, a second win in a row over Crizzle. So he'll be feeling confident going into this one, but Crizzle, like a man possessed, is going to be looking to try and get that win over Dave this time round and make sure that he repeats that feat of making it to the grand finals like he did last season. And our final match of the first round, it is the Wobbuffet Ninjas taking on the Long Island Gummies. The second time these two have played in the first round of playoffs. Of course, took on each other in the first round of playoffs in season 1. Silly is yet to beat to beat myself, so I'm fully expecting Silly to go all out in this one, or alternatively, he's going to bring something stupid like he did last time, but we will certainly see. It's going to be exciting. So as I said, those ties will begin on the 2nd of January, and you will see those matches on the January the 7th show, which will be our playoff special. But now, guys, we're going to move things over. We have got ourselves an interview roundtable, you might call it. We've got pretty much all, barring I think Newcastle Thunderous. Dave is unfortunately unavailable to be with us. All sat in the voice chat. We're going to do a bit of a round table and sort of talk to everyone about playoffs, about the season, and yeah, we'll just have a chat with everyone. So let's get ourselves in. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Draco.
Hello.
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 Everyone. How are you all doing?
Doing fantastic.
Pretty good.
Okay, thanks, Matt. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Yeah, awesome.
Love the show.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Thanks,
great
bro.
show.
Thank
Great
you,
show.
thank you, dude.
It was a great show.
You're too kind.
I actually watched it this week.
You actually, yeah, Silly was actually here this week to watch it.
It was a great
There's a
show.
lot of
but
firsts this
It
week.
was
I'll tell you
a
that.
great show and a very tense last week.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about that. We're going to start off with Dogsy and ShadowKings. We'll speak about that. So, Dogsy, you are in playoffs for the first time since season 1. How did that feel making it in that way? It was incredibly close between you and Silver to make it in that final spot.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, RNG definitely went in my favor there. As I'm sure you recall, I play the TBPL for playoffs. Playoffs is where I'm in my element. Unfortunately, last season I had a bad bout with my Doritos investment. So my mind was focused elsewhere, and unfortunately, I didn't manage to make it through. But yeah, I'm buzzing to be in my element. Playoffs is what it's all about, and I wouldn't have it any other way than facing Aaron, who I faced, in my very first playoffs in season 1. I'm sure that was a memorable experience for Aaron, which we're hoping to repeat again.
Yeah, do you want to tell everyone what happened last time?
So Aaron is a very methodical player, very analytical, but he puts all of his eggs in one basket if he thinks it's going to work out that way. So in season 1, he had so much investment in the Indeedee Hatterene strat that I decided to counter it by putting Max Flutterby, or I should say X-Scissor, on my Excadrill. So I went for a Max Flutterby as well as put up screens and just nullified any damage that the Indeedee Hatterene duo could do. I did that in both games. Aaron was never to be seen again until season 2. Like I said, so my record against Aaron in playoffs is 2-0 Dogsy, and I think Aaron's got to really think about that going into his battle against me.
Yeah. So, Aaron, how do you feel your chances in playoffs overall? Because you are a season 2 champion, you go into this one with in the number 1 seed. So, as we've mentioned, you do play Dogsy. What do you think your chances are going forward?
Pretty good. I do know that in season 1 I kind of Actually, it is very accurate what Dogsy was saying. I was very kind of like stuck in my ways in a sense in season 1. But I won't make the same mistake again in this season, I assure you.
No, there's not many people that do that here apart from Silly, so I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, well, I was zoned out.
We were just speaking about coaches that make the same mistake twice.
Oh
or
yeah,
three
yeah, yeah,
times.
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Like make out inner focus.
Like, oh yeah, like I shard,
whoa,
I shard and
whoa.
psychic drain twice. in a row.
Whoa. Hang on. What about sludge bombing? No, Max oozing some steel types.
Oh yeah.
Or not putting Gale Wings on Fletchling or follow me on Blastoise.
Yeah.
Like we could sit here and name all this stupid shit I've done in the league.
Yeah, we could just make this entire round table about Silly's mistakes and we'd be here all night.
We would
tried
be
to
here all
think-
night.
Silly, this is now an intervention.
Yes.
Last week.
This is
Let's not do that.
This show would turn into a subathon at this point. It would last that long.
this is turned into like Alcoholics Anonymous. Silly's like hello, my name is Silly. Hi, Silly. And I make the same mistakes twice. Speaking of Silly, as we mentioned at the show there, you of course you play myself for the second time in the first round of playoffs.
Yeah.
Of course, last season unfortunately you didn't make playoffs. It didn't sort of go to plan. So, how do you feel your chances are in playoffs this season? Because you've had a really strong season. You've got a very strong team. Where do you sort of see yourself in this playoffs?
Oh, I'm not dropping a game. 2-0, all the way to the top.
All the way. Wow.
Iron State's no chance.
That confident. Wow. Yes. I don't know what to say to that. He's just so confident.
Matt, how do you feel about the upcoming match?
I'm shit myself because he won't forget follow me this time.
I won't.
No,
Actually, I probably will. We were talking about how I make the same mistakes twice a lot.
I will say, and I'll concede happily that of course I think he would have won the first time round. And it happened last season as well. You know, the first time we played.
Gale Wings.
The
Gale Wings.
No, well, the first season the Gale Wings thing happened. We'll forget about that. I won't remind Silly about any further. But in season 2, I got the critical hit with Mind Blown on Persephone.
Oh my god! Don't even talk about that.
The second time we played in season 2 was Fishergate, and I don't want to really talk about it, but
that was great though.
in the end, I did end up pulling out the victory. Probably undeserved though, because if he'd had any other moves on this baby hippo other than ground moves, he would have won game 1. So
I popped air balloon.
So
Air balloon should pop in sand. Like if you're gonna have a balloon in a sandstorm.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
I would just like to quickly give a big shout out to my support back at home. Hi, Silly's mom. On top of that,
Wait, you just went there.
Wow.
on top of that, Silly, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the finals.
All right, as long as listen, you can make all the jokes with my mom as long as you can actually give me a PS5.
That's a low blow right there. But yeah,
I'm looking forward to big things from Silly. If Silly thinks it's going to be 2-0 all the way, then I'll see Silly in the finals.
Yeah, okay.
No, I mean, I'm pretty excited for it. It's gonna be interesting to see. I know what Silly's like for bringing amusing things, even in playoffs. You know, the obvious win con is right in front of him, and he'll just do the complete opposite.
Oh yeah.
So
I'll think of something interesting.
I'm just excited to see what he does.
Where's the fun in trying?
Yeah, well, no, exactly. Yeah, when you can sort of lay back and
but
just...
you know what? I need Leo to really mean.
Yeah, our fallen French god.
Yeah.
No
one's gonna build teams with me in playoffs this year
or
this season.
We'll see him again one day.
One day.
One day. Draco, of course. This is the second time you have made playoffs, twice in 2 seasons, so that's 2 quick successions. You left it pretty close at the end there, but you'd managed to make it in after about 6 relegation 6-pointers in a row. How are you feeling about playoffs yourself? So where do you see yourself making to? Do you think you'll make it further than last season?
I'd like to. I'll be honest. I don't want to bomb out and lose 2 in a row this time. I'm feeling confident. You know, yeah, I left it a bit late to secure my place. I made it interesting, but you know, coming off a win against Chris is always a boost to morale. Obviously, he's a very good player with a very good team. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting playoffs this season. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to beating Meme as well.
Oh, for sure, yeah. That's been an exciting first game. We're seeing a lot of people are going to be vying for revenge in these playoffs. Meme, how do you feel about that, and how do you feel about your own chance of playoffs? Cause is your debut season this season, and you're the one of 3 debut players to make it in. So, what's your feelings about playoffs?
Oh, I was muted. Sorry about that.
I was like, oh my god, he's been so flabbergasted by Draco's comment, he just died.
No, I was. No, I'm feeling pretty confident with my team. It's a lot of the key components in my team that I've drafted this season with you guys have been one that I used to make it pretty far in another league as well.
Right. Okay.
So, so I think I have a lot of the gimmicks and how the team really works together, like the chemistry fleshed out. So it was a really nice opportunity to get to use it with you guys. As for Draco, I think he's going to have a great time in the losers bracket because he's not taking a game off of me.
Oh my god!
And I want to go. I would like to rematch Aaron. Is who I'm looking to prove my worth against in the next round of the playoffs if he makes it.
Yeah,
there are so many better players to target though.
There are, but I have beef with him.
Sorry, Meme. Just to say one thing, Meme. If you were hoping to play Aaron, then you'd need to actually lose to Draco. So you may want to actually drop into losers.
Well, I mean, if you both make it to the playoffs, then...
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I won last time, so it's only fair that I let Draco win this time.
Yeah, you've got to give him a fighting chance.
There you go.
I mean,
I gave Matt a win last time.
Yeah, exactly. He just sort of let Wheel build his team and through. So
Yeah, and everybody's let Aaron win this time. So
yeah, I was the only one who decided.
I did give Aaron a free win too because he wouldn't let me feather dance his what's it called, his Zacian 3
no,
times in one turn.
he let you feather dance it.
No, but not with the Oricorio. The plan was the dancer Oricorio. So and then the Oricorio feather dances again. So his Zacian goes from +1 to -5 in one turn. But I never pulled it off.
Well, you see, only good players pull those type of strats off, silly, I'm afraid. So
This is actually the problem when you manage to beat everyone, well, almost everyone. That everyone wants revenge on you afterwards.
yeah,
Nah, I look at higher skies.
yeah.
Like Dogsy.
Aaron, drop into losers. I'll beat you in the grand final. I don't want to face you before then.
So all the pressure is on you, Aaron. Of course, you went 10-1, only dropping the one match all week, all season. So that is a very tantalizing match potentially in winners semi-finals between yourself and Meme. So speaking of playoff opponents, who are you most looking forward to potentially facing? Are you sort of looking forward to potentially a rematch of season 2 finals against Chris, or have you got your eyes on anyone else?
Is this me?
Yeah, you. Sorry.
Actually, I'll be honest. I actually would love to go up against Meme again because it's just so fun doing weather battles. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like me trying to do solar blading in rain.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
All right, I'll draft the baby hippo then right now.
Oh no, silly! Please don't. There's only so many NAM flashbacks I can sort of cope with before I just end up...
we should talk about the trades.
Draco's just asked about this in a DM, so I don't want you to sort of comment on what you've traded just yet, but sort of,
Draco, can I have your Volcarona now?
We haven't confirmed trades yet, though, have we? So
yeah,
unfortunately not. But
the people who haven't made trades yet. What kind of ideas have you got for trades? And the people who have made trades, what are you predicting? Sort of, what mons would you predict the other people to pick up? So the first question is to Silly, Chris. I think Meme, you've already made a trade, right?
Yeah, I made a trade.
Yeah, so Silly, Chris, actually just Silly and Chris and myself.
Yeah, so my plans were kind of thwarted when Draco actually made playoffs. So now, I wanted that
you didn't
Volcarona.
have faith in me, did you? You didn't have faith.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to have faith in you because I wanted the Volcarona. Like, it wasn't because
loyal.
It's just the fact, personal gain comes before other people.
That's fair. So
I wanted the Volcarona.
So now you can't get the
No,
Volcarona.
I can't get the Volcarona.
What sort of? Obviously, we play each other fair, so I don't want you to tell me what you want, but what ones are you sort of looking at for
Probably
playoffs in
something to
general?
replace Empoleon because it's useless now that I have a good water and a good steel type.
Okay.
One could argue Empoleon was useless
I just-
to begin with.
No, what do you mean? Empoleon pulled all the weight in the early.
Yeah.
Look at my
was-
early matches. Empoleon was MVP. But now I just have too many things that overlap its job. Now it just needs to go.
It's time to box your starter.
Yeah, basically.
Can't believe you've done
Well,
this.
one of them, not my Blastoise.
Silly is just starters arrows.
I would trade Empoleon for Fledgling, but that's illegal apparently. So
I mean, it's not illegal.
Slightly.
You could do that. To be fair.
I could do it. I might do it.
Wow.
I'm gonna pick up Goomy too, because mascot worse.
Christ.
I used the Goomy in another league. I ran ready for this set. I ran Absolute Armor, Curse, Outrage, and Life Dew.
Oh my.
Oh my god.
Goomy.
This is what we have to put up with, guys.
Did it also have an assault vest?
Hey, man, you invited me to the league.
We wanted you so bad you got 2 invites to the league.
I
You're
got
the
2
only-
invites.
You're the only person to get 2.
Bobby and Matt. I got double invited.
I got invited by my twin.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, Aaron,
Yeah.
Aaron, the OG Aaron. So, Crizzle, what are your thoughts on trades for playoffs for your own team, or for other people's teams? Sort of, what are you looking at?
Oh well, remember last season I was going to trade Mudsdale for Gigalift, but I fell asleep.
I do remember
I'll probably
that.
do the same. I'll probably do the same this season. I'll have something in the box and ready to go, and then fall asleep, and time will pass, and then.
It does.
Wait, when is the deadline?
2nd of January. I mean, falling asleep does tend to happen in your old age, Chris. It's to be expected.
I know I'm almost as old as Aaron, so we can't really stay up too late.
That is old. Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron's kid is almost as old as me.
You're practically a bag of dust and bones.
they've got the graves dug for Crizzle and Aaron already.
All right, Aaron,
It's
I
got
booked you.
dark so quick.
Oh, yeah, Aaron, I booked you a stay at a nursing home yesterday.
How does a
one.
16-year-old book a nursing home for like a 30-year-old?
Also lives overseas too.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of sus.
It's gonna be that hard. I'll
But
figure
to
it out.
seriously answer your question, I might actually go back and pick up Raichu again.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Because we were. I think everyone was kind of surprised when you dropped that. Do you want to talk about that trade in general, or why you wanted to pick it back up again? Or?
Because Salazzle isn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was there to take out one Mon, and it didn't do the job.
I mean,
So-
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's more fair.
that's it.
No, to answer your question seriously, I was honestly, because of the Wii U, he was a homie. I was looking to pick up that Darmanitan that he used so well last season.
Galadam, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Unga Bunga Monkey.
Because it was Unga Bunga Monkey. It was we all loved the Unga Bunga Monkey, and it's just so good too. It hits so hard and pretty fast,
it came every game.
and it's double choice items.
Yeah, it is a double choice item essentially. Choice band and choice scarf. Yeah,
Or choice band and choice band.
I know, that's a real Chad move right there.
I'd run it if I had Fletchling. Oh, wait, I have big Fletchling.
I was just saying you have the adult Fletcher.
I honestly forgot, but
Your Fletchling grew up, silly.
damn it, it evolved.
Fletchling aged.
Oh my god! Imagine if you could do that. Like pick up a first evolution Pokemon, and then like as the season goes, it evolves.
No, Matt.
What?
Team that starts with babies. That's a good idea. We start with baby Pokemon, and mid-season they all evolve. So you have half LC and half not LC. Think about it.
I'll
Kidding.
I'll take it into consideration. Yeah.
No, you won't. But thank you for saying that.
I won't. I just wanted to make you feel better.
Yeah.
Dibs on Charmander.
You didn't have to say it, Matt. I already knew you weren't. You just said no.
Dibs on Meltan.
Sorry, Draco, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, no. If we're doing this little cup thing, I want Meltan, please.
There might be.
Yeah, Cosmium or whatever, Cosmog.
Well, with 2 moves.
Yes.
So let's go through the list, everyone. I know we already spoke about these in the Discord earlier, but I want to sort of get everyone's thoughts, serious thoughts, on where they think that they're sort of where they're going to think they're going to position in playoffs and where they think everyone else is going to do. So we will start off with Mr. AA Run. I honestly expect everyone to back themselves, but that's fair enough. Aaron, sort of what are your predictions for playoffs? Who do you think's going to do real good? Do you have any dark horses in there, and who do you think's going to flop on their face? I'm going to put the pressure on.
I don't know. I do back myself to do as good as semi-finals at least.
Yep.
Finals, I'm not sure winning it. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping to get semis. I think I actually think Meme has like a pretty good chance to get into the semis as well and make it into the finals. Just because of the just the core damage that his team does. Like, when I remember when we all saw him draft his team, we were like, "Oh my word, that is such a strong team!" Like the damage output he has with
Very
that
scary.
Charizard and Groudon, and and Umbreon being such a good supporting one as well. And then in terms of like dark horses, I think Dave is actually a bit of a dark horse.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with that. I think everyone is sleeping on Dave in playoffs. We've only seen him in playoffs once, and he got to play one match. He lost to Dogs, so he's kind of an untested element really in playoffs. It's going to be exciting to see how he does, for sure. Who do you expect him potentially not do as well as everyone else? I'll really put you on the spot here.
Say it, Aaron. I know you want to say it.
If you say me,
I know you want to say it.
If you say me, I won't be offended.
No,
Come on, Aaron.
I expect you to do well actually as well.
It's me, isn't it, Aaron?
Sorry?
No,
It's me, right?
I was gonna say silly, but only because he keeps doing the same thing.
it's all right. I'll win. Watch me. Drop no games.
That's what I mean. Prove me wrong.
Me
Silly.
first, everybody eighth.
Everybody ate. Oh gosh. All right, Crizzle, same question then. How do you think you're going to do yourself? Are there any dark horses, and who do you think is going to shit the bed?
Well, I'll always back myself, and I'll always back myself to shit the bed. So I'm going to finish both 8th and 1st.
Okay.
However, if I were to say, just looking at the brackets, I think Dogsy beats Aaron. Aaron's way too confident, so Dogsy's going to beat him. Space City takes out Rookidees, and then Aaron beats Rookidees in the losers. Aaron has a losers run and makes it to finals.
Okay.
I fall somewhere and just go out. I can't see myself having a great season like I did last season. If I'm honest, I'm not too confident with the team.
Oh wow.
Yep, it's true. It's true. I've been winging it every week.
That's the way to be.
And I think it's going to be you and Dave in semis of winners.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to beat Gumi and send him on his way out and packing in losers. He's been talking too much crap lately, so you'll finish 8th, silly. Just because you'll get battered so hard.
We'll see.
But yeah, if I were to pick 2 grand finalists right now, I'd say Space City and probably the Ninjas.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the pressure.
that they'd be my 2 grand finalists now. How they end up and getting there, I don't know. But that's how I'm feeling at the moment. After I make this trade, we'll see what happens. But just because I don't back myself at the moment to beat Dave, I'm still going to beat him because I still put down that he beat me on hacks. with their stupid paralysis and stupid paralysis on protect. So
So do you have anyone who you think's gonna be a dark horse?
Dark horse, you.
Me? That's
Yeah,
fair.
you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
is pretty
think you're. Yeah, I think the ninjas are the dark horses of this. I do honestly think Kings have enough to beat the Surfers, but I don't think they'll get past Space City, and I don't think as much as Dogsy wants it, he ain't gonna have a losers run.
Oh, not
Sorry,
like,
Dogs.
not back in a Dogsy losers bracket run. Did you not watch season 1? Dogsy just picked everyone up in losers, put them over his knee, and just spanked them until he got them.
I only learned how to play Pokemon in losers bracket, by the way.
Yeah, but it's seeing who you get in losers brackets that I'm not confident in you for.
That's fair enough. To be honest, all jokes aside, I know it's not my turn, but I think my progress in this is very much dependent on how well or how lucky I can get against Aaron. If I struggle against Aaron, then it will be very tough anyway. I feel like if I can beat Aaron, though, I'm not negating anybody else's ability, but I feel like if I can overcome the hurdle of beating Aaron, then I think I'll go far.
Sure, that's fair.
That is fair.
Disagree.
Inspirational.
Draco, same question then. So where are your sort of aspirations for playoffs? Where do you think you're going to finish? Who do you think is going to be a dark horse, and who do you think is going to shit the bed?
Obviously, as Chris and Aaron said, I'm of course going to back myself. I feel like being drawn against Meme, everyone is looking at that draw and thinking, I'm probably going to get squashed and go down to losers. But I feel confident after pulling a major upset against Chris to even qualify for playoffs. I'm feeling confident I can beat Meme and see Dogsy in the winners bracket.
Dogsy in winners bracket.
No, but then he'll go down to losers and make a losers run and see me in the final.
That's a dream, baby. That's a dream.
But yeah, all jokes aside, I believe that personally, I would love to make it to at least win a couple of games this season rather than losing 2 in a row. I'd like to see myself get to winners semi-finals and then possibly drop down to losers and make it to losers final.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
That's where I see myself. That's where I see myself going this season in playoffs.
Yeah, I think, like, to be fair, like, you can't do much worse than you did, and that's not to say you did all terribly in playoffs, but you can finish lower than you finished last season. So, like, the only way is up. Do you have a dark horse? Do you think? Who did you just say?
Dark horse. Personally, I believe the Newcastle Thunderous is a big dark horse. I feel like they could pull off a shock and possibly win the whole thing. Who knows? But I do reckon the Newcastle Thunderous are a big dark horse. In terms of who I think may shit the bed.
Sorry, did I miss something?
Oh no, we're just talking through Draco's playoff predictions. You're good.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry. My dogs were freaking
I've already
out.
commented on how I'm going to beat you. Don't worry.
Okay, that's fine. I accept my fate.
Wow.
A team I think are going to shit the bed. I'm sorry. I'm going to say the Long Island Goobies.
Oh,
Dude, just because I'm a child doesn't mean I still shit my bed. Like, come on, guys.
I think without the Volcarona, their playoff plan has gone to tatters, and they've got to come up with something quick. Otherwise, it's going to go downhill for them.
Oh, that might have been the best one-liner I've ever heard. Fucking hell. All right. Sorry, let me
Should I use
compose
that
myself.
about girls, Matt?
Yeah, 100%. Dogsy, what do you think about playoffs? Where do you think you're going to finish? Who do you think's a dark horse, and who do you not seeing doing so well?
To be honest, sorry, you asked me, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what everybody else is saying that the dark horse is going to be Dave, primarily because nobody else is really putting much expectations on Dave at all,
Yeah.
and I think that's a big mistake on all of our parts.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Facing the guy, I can't underestimate him. Seriously, he beat me once. Yeah, it was through hacks, but still.
I feel like we have to be very worried about what Dave will bring, and how it's all going to work out. So I think Dave is definitely a dark horse. In terms of where I think the places are going to be, I think if I can beat Aaron, which I think there is a good possibility, then I do see myself making it to at least semi-finals. If I go to losers brackets, then I'm not gonna make it easy for anybody. I tell you that now.
Yeah, we know you won't.
I've got a reputation of being playoff king to uphold. But I think, to be honest, like Aaron said, I think Meme. Not to say Draco played fantastic in that last game. If Draco plays that way, it's a very scary thing to see. But I feel like Meme is going to go a lot further than we've already given him credit for. He's a really good player, and I think he's definitely one to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with that for sure.
Aw, shucks.
All right.
And unless it's in my range, that's all I'll say.
All right, Meme, you handsome Texan fellow. Same question.
Thank you.
Same question, my guy. Where do you sort of see yourself doing in playoffs? Do you have a dark horse, and who do you think's not going to do something?
Okay, so I got 2 dark horses.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm thinking. I think the thing to watch out for is the lower. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for bringing it up.
You're
the
okay,
visual. I think it's gonna be Newcastle Thunderous and Wobbuffet Ninjas that are gonna be the ones to watch out for.
Damn, really?
Because I feel like those teams, especially teams in the lower half, are better than their record has shown. Just because, the record also doesn't show best the games that have been won 2 out of 3. The record doesn't show how many hacks and BS that they've what's it called lost up against. So I think those are 2 players with really good rosters and definitely some gimmicks and chemistry that we haven't seen yet. I think those 2 have really versatile rosters, not one note rosters that sort of do one thing, but they do that thing well. Aaron's team, my team, Silly's team, that kind of just Unga Bunga Rain, Zacian, Unga Bunga Sun, Charizard, Unga Bunga Follow Me, Geomancy. Those teams I think do one thing well, but lack a little bit of versatility that we've seen so far. And I think that Wobbuffet Ninjas and Newcastle Thunderous have the rosters to be able to adjust on the fly and to maybe counter some of what's been shown so far. So I think those are 2 dark horses that could go really far. As for me, I like I said, I'd love to go all the way. I'm new. So, you guys, Luna, please calm down. Sorry, my dog's crying. I'd love to go far. I don't see me, if I fall to losers, I don't see me going very far in losers.
Okay.
Just because that's a lot. I've never done a tournament, a Pokemon or playoffs in this format.
Wow. Okay.
When I have done it, it's just been single elimination. So I don't know how I'll do in a losers bracket, but I hope to not have to drop to the losers bracket.
Yeah, you do end up with a lot more matches to play, and of course your road to the grand finals is a lot more difficult because you make it there. You've then got to win 2 best-of-3s to win the tournament as a whole.
Yeah,
so
it's like being dropped into a dark alley and everybody's just waiting to jump you.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Fair play.
Yeah.
Silly, finally, on playoff aspirations, dark horse, and who do you think's going to do not so good? I know straight away you're saying yourself for who's good.
Yeah, of course, of course. And
Yeah.
I think the biggest dark horse in the league is probably Calyrex Shadow, but I'll leave the call now.
God.
Nah, nah.
We'll
for real
just
stuff.
we'll get Silver back and just replace Silly for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Alright. For reals though, for reals. I'm obviously first, right? Of course.
Fair play.
Who else would be first? And dark horse, I don't really know. I would say probably you, Matt. I think you're the dark horse here, but like only in losers bracket because I obviously have to beat you first.
Yeah, you've got to get past me first,
Yeah, of
which
course.
has not happened yet in the.
And then
League.
shit the bed. I'd probably just Draco. Draco's probably just gonna shit his bed.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that just because I said that about you, or?
No. I have my reasons. Do you want me to go in depth? I was just trying to
Yeah,
keep it
go
short.
ahead.
All right. So basically, Draco, you kind of just like barely squeezed past there, right? While everyone else, they're kind of comfortable on their teams. But you kind of seem like you every week you were kind of fighting for that win, whereas people like Meme and Aaron and Crizzle, and even me some games like kind of had our game plans. We got out, quick, easy, went back to whatever we were doing, eating, which I mostly do.
Yeah.
But, what's it called? You like you like I like you as a player, but like I just don't think you're gonna come there with the confidence, and I don't think you're gonna get it done. Or I think it's just gonna be quick. You're just gonna be sent home packing pretty quickly.
I mean, what's the fun in qualifying like week 9?
I know.
What's the
I know.
fun?
Then you have to
I
play
agree
more.
with
I don't have the time to play.
Yeah,
I'm just
we know because you forfeited versus Dave.
Yeah, it's true. I just that is pretty true. Nah, let's go. Oh, I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
There's a surprise.
Oh.
Well, before you end up going down a dark path and try to remember, we'll move on.
I already am.
So
Sorry. I'll tell you when I remember.
myself, I'll keep this quite short and sweet. I think Dark Horse.
Oh, I did remember.
Dark Horse for sure. I'm gonna agree with everyone else. Is Dave. I think Dave's shown through that sort of win streak he went on in the middle of the season just how strong of a player he can be if he sort of plays to his play style. Obviously, it's not went so well for him the last couple of weeks, but playoffs I think resets everything because some people have new teams, and we're going to have a couple of week break as well for people to refresh, and providing Dave doesn't drink too much Newcastle Brown Ale, he should be nice, fit, and healthy to play. So, I think I'm not going to say a winner, but I think grand finals is going to be between Meme and Aaron, for sure. I think on the season as a whole, they've been the two strongest players all season. Crizzle a very close third behind. I think Crizzle's been very strong as well. Although I think probably by his own admittance didn't have as strong as a season as he did last season. Shit the bed is probably going to be myself because I'm still sat here trying to work out what kind of trade I want to make for playoffs, and my free time in January for when playoffs kicks off is very short. So I would love to back myself, but at this one time I'm not going to. But I can, if I'm at least able to get past Silly, I can see myself making it pretty far.
All right,
to be
Matt.
honest.
Matt, it only takes 10 minutes to build a team. You're good.
Yeah, no. If I can make
Forget to follow me on the poke.
yeah, as long as Silly forgets to put a move on or forgets to put an ability or something, like if he gets an item, like if he gets Power Herb on Xerneas, then we'll be all good. But otherwise,
The amount of times I've almost done that isn't even funny.
no, I know. All right, so we're gonna quick fire round through everyone. I want one sentence from everyone to sum up this season. Aaron, go.
Oh, my season?
Yeah, just sum up the season as a whole. Just one sentence.
Pretty strong. Yeah.
Pretty strong. Okay. Crystal?
Aaron, you're going down. We
Dogs?
don't even meet till finals, but you are going down.
Fair. Dogsy?
You asked us to sum up the season, right?
In one sentence, yeah.
Absolutely chaotic and very unpredictable, except for Aaron winning every game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Draco?
Expect the unexpected. You really don't know what's going to happen in the British Pokemon League, and that's what makes this league great.
Awesome. Yeah. Meme?
GG easy.
Yeah. Silly?
You know, a lot of shadow jokes, a lot of jokes about my mom, but in the end, just a lot of easy wins for me.
Okay. My one is that there's always plenty of more Pokemon left to play.
Oh,
That's
the classic.
and that's where I'm gonna leave it. Thank you very much, guys, for taking part in this. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in playoffs.
Cheers,
For
man.
sure.
See you in playoffs.
See you in a bit.
Ready
Right,
to
guys.
ass whooped, man.
Mwah. All right, my guys. That is going to do it for our final week of regular season play of the British Pokemon League and the British Pokemon League show. We will be back on the January the 17th for the British Pokemon League Season 3 playoff show. But until then, I hope you all have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year 2022. I have been your host, Matt Starr. Goodbye and good night. Mwah.